First thing to do is to not be afraid to ask. If you have concerns about somebody that you love who may be exhibiting symptoms or signs that they are feeling distressed or depressed to the point that they might not want to be alive anymore, don't be afraid to ask. Now, when do you call 911? This is a really difficult topic because if you're a friend or a loved one of somebody who's feeling suicidal, then there's this sense of responsibility that you have to keep them safe from themselves. And that is certainly a service that you can provide them. So I want to kind of lay out for you some things to consider before you call 911, or as you're thinking through like what would be required for me to call 911. If this loved one has told you, I want to hurt myself and I have a way of doing that, whether that is a gun in the house, they've already made a plan for walking in front of a car or other methods of self-harm or suicide. If they have communicated that they have had a plan and that they plan to go through with it at some date, you need to call 911. This shows plan and intent. These are the behaviors that typically precede an attempted suicide. And so I would highly encourage you, if your friend has communicated that to you and you feel like they are in an imminent danger to themselves, do not wait. Call 911, explain the situation, and you can even schedule what's called a welfare check from your local police department if you are concerned that they are alone and unsafe. You have to understand that in these situations, if they are actively suicidal and they have a plan and they've shown that they're going to follow through on their plan, whether verbally or their behaviors, you have the capacity to make good decisions when they don't. So when they're in that place of emotional distress and overwhelm, their brain capacity is greatly reduced to make logical, cognitive, rational decisions. And so if you are privy to the information of what they're feeling, you have the opportunity to, again, fill in that gap and be that supportive friend and call 911 for them. They may not be happy that you do that, but you have to understand that this is for their safety, and they very well may get very angry with you. They might say, no, don't call anybody. No, don't you dare. If you call somebody, I will kill myself. Those are the types of threats that should alert you like, hey, things are not okay with them and I need to get help beyond myself. I cannot be everything that they need right now. I want to give you permission to let them be upset with you while you do whatever is necessary to procure their safety, not yourself. I mean, yeah, if you're with them and you can confiscate the gun, if you can confiscate the knives, if you can confiscate whatever it is that they could harm themselves with, awesome. If they've agreed to that, or if you've got other people involved who are helping you make these really good decisions for them for their safety, then absolutely get involved in that way. But if you don't feel comfortable with that, then get the authorities involved. That might be a really dicey topic, but that's the best we've got right now. So if you can find out if there are weapons in the house and you can remove them, great. If not necessary. You can reach out to maybe some other friends and family members and loved ones, or reach out to the local authorities who are going to be able to provide protection to that person, get them to the ER, get them evaluated, kind of see what's going on with them, but at the minimum, keeping them safe from themselves. Okay, so let's say your friend makes these self-harm statements and you call 911 and the police come and they escort them to the hospital. Depending on what state you're in, the laws are going to be different regarding that. Let's say they're at the ER and they're getting evaluated and your friend is so upset with you for doing this, and maybe they go inpatient, maybe they get sent home. Either way, you still have the ability to choose to support them, even if they say they don't want it anymore, okay? Because remember, they're in a compromised position mentally and emotionally. So the best thing you can do for them after maybe they've made statements of feeling suicidal, or you've actually had to go through with calling 911, and you know, stuff has come to the surface and people have gotten involved, and maybe this person's upset or maybe this person is grateful, you can still follow up and be supportive and encouraging, sending them a text, hey, how are you doing this morning? I've been thinking about you. wanting to support you. Let's go out for lunch next week, or hey, I'm going to drop off some flowers. Whatever works for you to communicate to them that you are not afraid of them, that you care about them, and that you're there to support them whatever the cost. Remembering that you cannot save them, and you can only truly take care of yourself. So after all of this process, I want you to really get the sense that you have to take care of yourself to be in these moments. These are hard things. This is not an easy thing to do, and it is not a small thing to get involved with somebody's deep inner pain. So take care of yourself. If you need to create a little bit of distance to make sure that you are taking care of you, do that. If you need to put your life vest on before you go and rescue them, do that. If you need extra support to process your emotions and what's been kind of triggered in your heart and emotions because of their experience, do that. Get your own therapy. Be the example to them of truly taking care of yourself. That is the best gift that you can give them, is being whole, so that you can then go and help them get the help they need to get on the track to being whole. I'm going to make sure I post some of the resources that would be helpful if you or a loved one you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts or behaviors. If you have somebody in your life who has a history of those things, and you are concerned, reach out to them as you are able, but knowing that you are not the one in control. You are not the one who's going to save them, but you can support them. I know this is a really complicated and involved topic, and there's so much more we can say about this, but I wanted to provide a brief overview. So if you still have questions, please reach out to me. I've worked in crisis and trauma for 5 years now, and I've seen a lot of different things. And so between state laws and personality differences and resources available in the community, there can be a lot of different ways to handle this. But especially when it becomes a personal, emotional experience, it can become complicated with friends and family members, especially if they don't want your help. So please reach out and get support for yourself. And I will continue to provide information on this as best that I can. Be safe, be smart, be caring. Most importantly, you are not going to save anybody, but you can provide an unbelievably wonderful service to a friend or family member by reaching out.